Randomly teleporting across town or ending up on a road that you couldn't have otherwise ended up on? Something really strange has been happening lately, and I know I'm not crazy, because friends of mine have experienced this with me on 2 separate occasions. I swear I'm teleporting across town somehow. This has happened to me 3 times and it's seriously starting to freak me out. It happened for the 3rd time less than an hour before I started writing these words. I was riding in my friend's car back to my place from a movie theater on the opposite side of town, a trip that would normally take around 15 minutes. It took us 5, and I noticed what had happened almost immediately, but I didn't want to say anything until my friend, we'll call him E, did, out of fear of sounding crazy. On the drive, we randomly ended up downtown, close to my place much sooner than we should have. The transition is so seamless that I can't tell the difference until I see man-made landmarks like buildings. He mentioned that he didn't make any turns that he'd normally have to make to get there, we just ended up there. We weren't distracted by a conversation or anything, and the both of us were stone cold sober. Then he started to freak out a little bit. I told him about the other 2 experiences like that. I'd had more on those later. We made it to my place, and he compensated for a bit before he left. In the car, I told he about the other 2 events like that I had experienced. The very first time I had something like that happen, I was walking to a gas station to grab a snack after work, and somehow ended up walking on a street a mile down the road. No time had passed at all, and I know this because I check my watch fairly often. The second experience was the more drastic of all 3 I've had. I was in the car with another friend of mine, we'll call him Jay, and we were on our way to a Walmart a 30-minute drive away from his place one morning. We ended up getting there in 10 minutes. He did notice what had happened shortly after starting the drive over, though. We took a turn into this more scenic road on my state Virginia, which would be a straight path to North Carolina. Instead of us going towards North Carolina, we ended up on a very similar road much closer to that Walmart within a matter of seconds. The transition was nearly unnoticeable until I saw buildings I recognized from the part of town the Walmart is in. That experience freaked me out, too. I have no clue what's going on, and to be honest, I'm really scared. I don't know what's happening, and I want to find out. Has anyone else experienced this? Another thing that happens, and this has been consistent all 3 times, is that I, along with E and J, get their horrible burning sensation in our lower chests, and we feel this awful sense of uneasiness. Standing up after an experience like this feels like a burden, and walking around is awkward and clumsy. All 3 times I've had this happen, I, along with E and J, have been completely sober. Please help, I just want to know what the hell is happening.